Hey, what's up, dads? Dads, welcome.
We're the dads.
Welcome. It's a
For
pleasure.
the dads.
We're here.
Oh, we are.
It's good to be around the table with you all again.
I just thought of
What's
that
up, Rob?
scene, and like we are so back. We are so,
We're here, baby.
It's like a once a month podcast. We are
Listen,
here.
yeah.
yeah, anytime literally the planets have aligned,
Yeah.
and it has put us together at this table once again.
Let's
It
be
is.
honest. We just texted each other this morning. Like,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Does it work?
Do this?
Yeah. Does this work? It's really crazy. I was on the phone with my brother, and I was like, oh man, I forgot I have to do this podcast. I didn't really forget, but I was really excited, and I just wanted to tell my brother about it. I was like, man, we're doing this podcast tonight. He's like, why are you doing it so late? And I was like, because we're dads.
Yeah.
Like that's the only time.
Being a dad.
Yeah.
Theme.
Could you imagine how bad of dads we would be if we were like, we're gonna go record a podcast about being a good dad? See you later, kids.
We'll be gone, and we'll be back in like 3 hours.
Yeah, we probably will do that at some
To be
point.
honest, I was in the shower at 7:30 an hour ago. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why am I taking a shower? I gotta go film a podcast.
Right.
You gotta smell good.
Today we're going to talk a little bit about like fear and fatherhood. But Mike's got a nice
Oh,
picture.
dude, yeah.
Hidden
Okay.
question.
Me and
Wait,
Nick.
That should
go
be
ahead.
the title of the episode.
What?
Fatherhood.
Yeah, fear and
Yeah.
fatherhood. Yeah. So,
Boing.
boing,
Good job, Ryan.
It's almost
You should
like,
host more often.
almost like you thought of that.
coined. Me and Nick were hanging out the other day, and I, for some reason,
Thanks for the invite.
yeah, you live,
Yeah.
you live like
Super
okay.
cool.
If it's hard for us to get together to record a podcast outside of recording a podcast,
I mean, I can be a bad dad once in a while.
My bad dad.
Bad dad.
anyways, I thought of this really cool icebreaker question: if we were a band, one, what would our name be?
First of all, can we just admit that none of us are musically inclined whatsoever?
I can play a campfire
Michael
guitar.
can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not like, play up in front of a bunch of people, but like get it out, little chicken
Speak
fried.
for yourself, Nick.
Okay.
Anyways.
when Michael
Terrible
asked, when
hit
Michael
at
asked
camp.
me that, when he brought this up in the truck, an image popped in my mind immediately of Noah on the tambourine.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Okay, you know what's funny? I had a similar visual as soon as you said it. It was also Noah, only it was going to be Blue Oyster Cult, and it's going to be Noah just rocking a cowbell.
Yes. Yeah, I'm good with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yes.
And really, that's the
Michael
truth. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Was like, if we were a band, what would our names be, and what would our instruments be? And that was it. For some reason, I just saw like Noah like,
Hey,
or the cowbell. I mean, anything really. And we always are referring to him like, bro, that's like one of the best instruments of the band.
And then immediately after that,
probably
the
on
next
capable.
image that popped in my mind was Ryan slapping a bass.
yeah,
Oh,
dude.
dude.
slap
I'd love to.
bass.
I think you're a bass guy.
I'd just take it for a walk.
Dude.
yeah.
Totally.
Licks the thumb, starts slapping it. But
He would vibe out on a
I do know another Ryan who's a fantastic bassist.
yeah, I feel like Ryan is a very
Shout out.
What is the I Love You Man? The movie?
Yeah,
Slap
slap
it
it
a
a
slap at the bass, slap at the bass, and then you would either be the drummer for sure,
Yeah, because I'm in the back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quiet guy. Yeah.
or the sound guy.
He hits the drums.
Yeah.
He's not even in
I'm
the
not
band.
even in the band. I'm just a sound guy.
Have you ever seen a lead triangle player?
Ooh.
Like in the band?
That'd be powerful. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, everybody
Tambourine. Please explain what this is.
me standing front and center with the triangle, and then the lead singer's in the back.
It's
vocal
all show for Noah. It's just
That's what I was saying. You got a lot of pizzazz. Like, just give him
Rocking the
something in
hips.
his hand.
We got to
Cowbell.
build it around something.
spoons,
Tambourine.
triangles.
a maraca.
Why am I thinking of Michael Scott in The Office with the?
Feeling hot, hot, hot. That's you, dude. With the one
that's
braid.
good.
Feeling hot, hot. Okay, what would our name be though?
Yeah, I don't know.
Has to be something like with dads.
Chat GPT it.
Oh
Some good
boy.
ones. Maybe we'll figure out a name at
Hey,
the
if
end.
you have a good name for the
the
dads for a band, and you give us a name, and we think it's really cool, I'll
Yeah.
send you a koozie for free.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I like
Contest
that.
time. Give us a band name for dads.
Anything.
Anything. There probably will maybe be one, and we'll pick that one and be like, "Here's a
You will
koozie."
have a koozie. Cost of entry is low.
We had the Q&A episode, and it was like 5 people this question. And like we just asked.
I'm like poking my wife. I'm like, "Will you please ask us a question?"
Help us
Okay,
out.
sorry.
Help
Go
us
ahead.
out.
Go ahead.
Hey, 3 of our wives were together yesterday.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They were, 2 days ago.
Wow, thanks for the info.
No, it was
Yeah.
yesterday.
It's another one of those.
It was yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. We had a baby shower for the Hawks.
Oh yeah, number
Yeah.
trace.
Number
It was the
trace
first time my wife met your wife.
Yeah, she went on and on about her.
in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
We're like,
I don't know what about.
Taylor Marvin's loser. Yeah, it was super cool. We actually, had a baby shower. It's just really cool, moving again from all the way over. You're gonna have friends, but like finding community is always like such a like, oh man, like where are we gonna fit in? But it was really cool just to see all the people surround my wife and her friend and love her and shower her with gifts. Okay, but here's the thing. I wasn't invited, and no offense, but my love language is gifts. And I love a good charcuterie board. Yeah,
really celebrated.
I love a mean charcuterie board and gifts. What, bro?
Nick,
You don't like good cheese?
Dude, now listen, he's gonna explain it.
and I don't like.
Yeah.
Brother, let's not get into this. I'd like me some good cheeses, some nice fruits, and a good cracker.
Dang, you know what? Speaking of you dissing, I literally just picked up my awesome ceramic like bowls me and the fam made.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang.
And I
Full
didn't
circle.
bring it. I know.
circle. Dude, next podcast, you got to bring the pottery.
No, I'll probably bring some into the office.
Yeah.
They'll be here. I have too many. I don't know what to do with them.
Too many
Be a
bowls.
nice little centerpiece.
Yeah, it's
It would be a
weird.
nice centerpiece.
It's like we all got 4. So I now have like 16 oddly shaped bowls that are too small for much of anything and too big for other things. I don't.
Yeah, you could. So you
What
could
texture are they? Are they like the smooth or?
Oh, yeah, they're
like
smooth.
finished.
Yeah. Yeah, they're glazed and fire.
Not like the terracotta.
Glazed.
Like
No.
clay.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
wow.
they're nice.
That was nice.
Not that those aren't.
Yeah, right. Hey, no, not dissing terracotta.
Yeah, like me some
This is it's the next level.
Wow. Anyways,
All right.
bring the pottery.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna bring the pottery, but we're gonna dig into fear and fatherhood for a second.
Okay.
Okay, take a breath. It's a steep transition.
Yeah.
Well, it's good because we last time talked about what does a successful dad look like,
Yeah, we're gonna flip it a little bit.
but kind of like what's the dark side of the coin?
The dark side.
The dark side. Where is she?
There's a lot that's just running through my head because the opposite of success is failure. But I think one of the biggest things that we do naturally as humans, and then when you become a dad, I feel like just fear creeps in, doubt can creep in. And if you say it doesn't, you're lying. Or you're just kind of trying to be the tough guy and try to hide it. But I don't know. There's been a lot more fears rise up in my life once I had a kid. I feel like you get some when you get married and stuff. Oh, I got to get this in line. But now that you're responsible, right? You're responsible for a kid or a family and leading a family, and it changes everything, and it's a big game changer.
Yep.
Right. So I don't know what some of your biggest fears are.
Do you think you had those fears like always, but like
come to the
the
surface?
marriage or the
Yeah.
kid like kind of like turned the heat up and made it all
Yeah.
kind of rise to the surface?
That's a good point. Like I mean, there's stressors in life, right? And it's like a lot of times I feel like growing up, you don't necessarily know what traumas, I'll just say widely, like you have until you kind of get pushed and you have pressors and you're just like, why am I having this reaction this way? And whatever it is. And it's just like, yeah, you get tested. That's the time to shine.
Yeah.
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 Well,
Which is kinda what we
you
talked
go
about.
from being almost like, growing up and through your teenage years, somebody else is responsible for your life. And then when you finally move out, you're responsible for your own life. But then when you marry and get kids, you're responsible for multiple lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like what you were talking about. It turns up the heat and you're like, oh crap, this is real.
Yeah.
I can handle the things that are on my own, right? And that it's me, and I'm dealing with these consequences because of my actions and my decisions. But now, the things that I do, it affects other people, right? And that's why it's killing me, and some of the things that I do or the decisions I make.
And it's like you're shaping who your kids are going to be for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And that's such a huge weight.
Yeah.
It feels like
That's a
because
word.
every decision you're making throughout your day, the time you're spending with them, the things you say to them or don't say to them, all that is shaping who they're going to become.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just a huge weight.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say for me, like one of the biggest things that I think was always there, but like really came to the surface when I became responsible for other humans, was just like the fear of like, I think the fear of failure may be too broad, but I think like the fear of like blowing it all up. Like there's this quote I've heard, it's not really profound or nothing, but we're all one step from stupid. Like we're all like one step from making that decision or making one wrong thing that to where it, you know, detaches people and, you know, the ripple effects of my decisions. It's not just about me anymore. Like you were saying, like I can handle the stuff. It's like about me, but like now there is other people involved that I love deeply and care for so much. And it's like, I'm one step decision. And I think a lot of times I'm like hyper aware of like me, like what am I doing? Where am I spending my time? I don't want to make a step and do one thing that causes ripples in, you know, 6 other people, you know's lives. And I think what you said too, was that it's killing us. Like, I don't think we're supposed to carry that stuff around. Like, I think that actually hinders me from being a good dad when I'm kind of blindfolded or kind of like, you know, horse, like can't see around, because fear is so blinding to the good things in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one thing to just be aware and to like have presence of mind, you know, on your decisions, and like another thing to just like it gets to be controlling in a way, right? And I
also think you get used to carrying that weight, and it doesn't feel as heavy anymore because you're so used to it. You know,
Getting stronger.
And then you take a step back and look, and it's like, man, that's a lot of responsibility and weight that I'm carrying every day. But sometimes you just don't even realize it because you're so entrenched in that everyday life.
Yeah, that is a good point. It's, you know, I've kind of felt it that burden kind of changes as your children change. Because, you know, like my daughter, I feel like my fear right now that's happening is like, well, my daughter is in a transitional phase and she's changing and she's becoming more independent, and that inherent change is now affecting me, you know, because as she changes, though, that means like the way that she interacts with me changes, and it's so hard and beautiful to like, you know, watch your kids grow, but then the pain that comes with like watching your child change into their own person and like detach from you is very difficult. So that's like what I've been having a lot of thought behind too, is just like a mix of what you guys were saying. It's like, well, how am I talking to her and how am I treating her? Because I know that she's getting older now and that she's absorbing a lot of what it is that I do and the way that I treat her and the way that she sees me. And that kind of freaks me out a little bit. I mean, it's just been weighing on me where I go through these like cycles in my head where I'm getting kind of like analytical, trying to like use some psychology to be like, how is she feeling? Is it because of this? And it's like from her childhood. And I'm just trying to like piece it together because I just want to help her really. But part of me worries. It's like one of the things that I'm aware that I do is like I kind of harp on her a lot because her older brother or younger brother, they're 5 years apart. So there's a good amount of distance there. And a lot of times she's like kind of overbearing on him and like she's hard on him. She's hard on the kid. And he is just like very different than her. He is more free spirited and just kind of lives by his own rules. And Allison lives by like the rules. Like there's some standard, like you got to do it this way and that way. And she has a hard time when you do it different. And so she's always like correcting him. And I just try to remind her, which happens to be a lot, to like, hey, like take it easy on him. Like, hey, don't do that. Like, listen, just like cool it. He's 6 still. Just let him be 6. It's fine. You're 11. And that's why it's weird because, you know, you're 11 and you wouldn't do that, but he's not there yet. And so my fear comes from like, is she going to take that perception of like me always being hard on her and always correcting her, and then like down the road just like struggle in ways with men or with me or whatever. And you know, the answer is I don't know. I hope not.
I struggle with that too. With Bray, where he's older than the 3 other brothers. I feel like a lot of times I'm harder on him because I expect more of him, and it can come across, or I guess it can come across as, you know, I'm being too hard on him, but really it's just he's older and I expect more from him because he's older, and maybe that's unfair. Maybe that's a unfair thing to put on him, but.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you though, because I do believe it's like, listen, you are older. That means that you need to start like taking on more. And I think one of the things that I've been conscious of in my mind is I want to challenge my kids more because they have a great life, which is fantastic. And I think I'm like, well, so did I. But at the same time, when I look back, like the difference was I was involved in the church and we were always doing like mission trips where you had to like work hard. You had to like, we went down to Mexico and we built houses all the time, like all by hand. And you're out there for like 10 hours in the sun. It was tough. It was tough stuff, but it was great. Like, I think that really did actually help build my character. And I never really thought about it at the time because it's disguised as fun because you're there with your friends and you can goof around and like all that stuff, which is great. It's a great like introduction to that. But how can I challenge my kids, and especially as they're getting older, with circumstances that are going to be out of their comfort zone in a way that isn't like, get over there and take that pile of wood and put it over there 10 feet away. And they just like hate me.
And put it back.
And so that's a real
They'll love you
trick.
one day for it.
I don't have that answer yet, but I agree with you. It's like, yeah, it is tough. You have to be hard on them because they need a little bit of that. And especially when you have younger kids, my daughter looks and says, well, how come my brother gets to stay up as late as I do?
Yeah.
I was like, well, listen, man.
It's a balance with like, how do you command their respect, but also not seem like an just mad dad?
Yeah. Mad dad. I like that word.
Mad dad.
Mad dad. It rhymes.
Why is he just so mad?
And I think too, we literally, so we're going to bring the Bible in this, but we were talking about this in Sunday school. We were talking about discipline particularly, and however you all discipline, like that's not the point. Like the point though is like we were talking about it in the scripture. It says discipline in the moment feels like awful, but it's better for you in the long haul. And we were talking through what that means. And I think we as dads in those moments of higher accountability because of age, because of responsibility, I hold my son to a higher accountability than my 2-year-old daughter. It's explaining in the moment what you're teaching them about, but in a grander kind of like, I think personally, like I'm holding you to a higher level because one, I trust you. I think you're a leader speaking life instead of like correct. I think you're a leader. I think you're so capable to do amazing things. And I'm trying to teach you things so that when you go to school or when you go to this or when you're on this team, you carry these things with you. And it's like, it may feel like really crappy right now in the moment, but I'm hoping that it's something that will reap benefits longer down the road. But I think kind of what you're going on, it's really hard. It's really exhausting to think about that all the time. Yeah. And in the moment like that's really easy for me to say sitting here. But like earlier today, like Lev just kind of like donkey kicked Noah in the chest. And so it was like, okay, like I'm going to jump in that. And I think a big fear is kind of what you guys are talking about. I don't want him to see me just like dropping down, but like, yo, you can't, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But you can't. Like, you can't donkey kick people. And so it's like, I don't want him to be like, man, he's just really hard on me. Oh, really hard on me. And so I have to like, one, remind myself, but then go back and continue to run it because I don't want him to think like, he can't come to dad about something or he's struggling with something. It's like, oh, he's just going to give me a hard time. Like, that's one of my big fears is like the disconnect between me and him because of like maybe I've been too hard or too soft or whatever it may be. But I think it's really centering in the moment but helping them see bigger and better around.
A lot of times I'll go back and like I kind of after the moment like tell Bray like the reason I'm saying these things to you is because one, I expect more of you, but like your 3 brothers look up to you so much. Yeah. They watch every move you make. They want to be you. Yeah. And I'm like, sorry, but that's a big responsibility. And you've got to, carry that and be a better version of yourself. But it's hard because you're talking to a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
I think too, that's where your spouse comes into of, hey, hey, let's tone it back or, you're just kind of working together.
Okay.
Good cop, bad cop, whatever it is. But, you're working as a team to discipline together. Obviously, he's going to look to you being the dad. I also love what you said, like how you're setting the standard with Bray, where he's the oldest. And I'm thinking about me if I don't have other kids, which we want other kids, but say Brooks is an only child, it's setting him up for his friend group. It's the teams, right, that you said. And I think that's really, really awesome because it trickles down not just in the family, but to everywhere that they go throughout life.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
school, teams, their career, whatever it is that they embark on, they're taking that leadership and that responsibility with them on how to act and how to behave, how to carry themselves.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome.
And we talked about that last time. Like, I think the successful dad is the dad that, well, one, the dad that's when he's not in the room, his kids love people. Like when he's not there, his kids are caring about others and helping them when they fall and standing up for others, for standing up for injustice or whatever it may be. Like when the dad's not in the room, it's like that's what. And so I think it's like going back, like trying to teach in the moment, but I need to like have that going into like before I'm going to discipline or whatever it may be. Have that in mind of like teaching now for something bigger around that whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I love the idea of just like the revisit too.
That's great.
That's something
Yeah.
that like we do with our kids. It's just like, even at 11 years old, my daughter still wants to get kind of tucked into bed. Like I sit, like she'll ask me about my day. I try to like talk to her. And then when
that's
there's
awesome.
those moments of like, you know, I had to do something that kind of upset her in the moment, is like when we can both be more cooled down and she's kind of like had her time to think about it, we get that chance to just like revisit just quickly. You know, I'm not like they're like keep on.
Here's a PowerPoint
belaboring
presentation.
points. Yeah, like shall we review again how you messed up today? I'd like to do it again.
the roadmap of your childhood. Today was an X. Tomorrow, let's get a check. That's
Oh man.
really good. I love the revisit idea. I
And
think that's really
it's
good.
nice because I feel like every time that we've done it, you know, she's like not in that fight or flight sort of stage, and it's just like she's ready to accept and like talk more, because at the moment it's just like it hits her reality so hard. It's a tough one to soak in information.
I think it's cool because we're all in different phases here.
Yeah.
Like Ryan just brought up stuff that I don't know, I haven't thought of that much because of the stage that we're in. I think when they're little, you're like, oh my gosh, is he doing okay? Like, I don't want him to choke on his food at dinner. Like, you know, it's just like little things like that you could worry about. When I look into the future though, I don't want to, a big fear that I have is I don't want to push my kid or my kids into becoming something that they're not called to be. And I don't want to force them to do something that they don't want to do. And now let me clear this up. I want them to be involved in things. I want to provide guidance. I want to provide discipline. I want to be hard on them. But I think it's me pushing what I want and the image that I want them to look like and what I want them to do with their life to be more important than what they want. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have ever thought about that. And it's not like really as a whole of like, oh, I'm going to make sure that they're this. But I think it's just the everyday life that they're living of, oh, this is how I did it. This is how I was raised. This is how I need you. This is how you need to act. This is how you need to do things. I don't know. I'm trying to find, I'm imagining what it would look like, but does that make sense?
I think
To me, it feels like you're trying to like deliver the foundation, right? Of like, like these are the things, like some of the skills and like the way that you interact with people. That
It's
need
just,
to
well,
be
I
the
can't
case.
control. The fear is I can't control who they become.
Yeah.
But then ultimately, you know, if you try to give them the foundation, and in the end, you're right. Like they're going to sculpt themselves into whatever it is that they want to be.
Yeah,
We
and
don't
that's
know
the
what that
fear,
is.
right? I think it's fear of the future.
Yeah. Fear of like the lack of control you have
Fear
over
of the lack of
situation.
control. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like those it's like really like corny teeny bot movies where they're like, no, Dad, this wasn't my dream. This was your dream. And they like storm off the field, you know? But it's like that same thing where you're like, you know, you've placed an idea or a way of life upon
This is
the
what
kid.
you wanted.
Yeah, this isn't what I wanted. It's what you wanted. You know? Yeah, it's like you don't. That is a huge fear of mine too. Of like
movies,
the athlete, you know, the this, the that,
whatever
the
it
whatever it may be. It's like no. I think one of the really good things I've got just when thinking about this and just leadership in general is I think our job is so there's like a vine and a trellis. A vine grows in which the strength it has to latch on to something. So, and I think us as dads, we try to like do all of the stuff at the same time when I think we're really, our responsibility is to build a really strong trellis. And the way in which the vine grows is it's going to grow like kind of whichever way it's going to go. But our job is to build the structure, the foundation, the scaffolding, or whatever imagery you want to use, put those things in place and allow the kid to kind of be who they were created to be, you know. But I feel that because it's like you're kind of throwing it out there, and it's like you're throwing them out there in the world, and it's like, all right, you know?
Yeah. Good luck out
Good
there,
luck.
kids.
But it's like we are shaping them
Yeah, for sure.
constantly.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the I get the image of the pottery in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're constantly shaping them.
Yeah, totally.
Moment by moment, conversation by conversation, like constantly throughout their lives. So you get a very big say. It might not feel that way, but like every day you're shaping who they're becoming.
Totally.
But there comes that time where, like you said, it's time to like let the bird fly and see where it goes.
Well, you guys want to, I mean, we dug in pretty good here. Should we flip it into some wins and losses recently?
Can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we mainly talk about dad wins, right?
Yeah.
I had a
Dad fail.
humongous dad fail.
It's okay, man. It's safe. It's safe. This is a safe space.
Is this a safe place?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is
Hey, it's okay to fail, dads.
I just don't-
Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
this goes along with.
But this is like
Yeah.
one of those fails where
Yeah.
like DCS could get called.
That's great.
So we were in Walmart.
Love it.
I never go to-
Market or superstore? It matters.
Superstore.
Yo, baby.
We're in the big dog.
Mm-hmm.
Never
You're in the
go to
big
Walmart.
leagues.
We're always at Target. This time we're at Walmart, and we're going to check out. And Kayla goes off to one aisle to start loading the stuff onto the checkout lane. And for some reason, me and Bobby got down a different aisle, and he's like showing me this. Is it Feastables?
Oh, yeah.
The Mr. Beast.
Big.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast Feastables bar. And he's like, "Look, Daddy, look." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool. Put it back. We gotta, we gotta go." So he's going over towards the side to put the Mr. Feastables bar back, and I round the corner to go over there where Kayla is to help her check out or whatever. And I'm assuming that Bobby's right behind me because he's always like,
He is always like,
always right behind me.
Little shadow.
Somehow, I don't know if he was fumbling around with the Feastables bar, but he never came behind me, and he took the wrong turn down the opposite way,
Huge dad fear.
and we didn't realize it until Kayla's like, "Where's Boston?" And I'm like, "I don't know. He was just right with me. Like, I don't know." And then like it starts to sink in, like we don't see Boston anywhere.
Oh, brother.
Bobby. And this was like maybe 30 seconds after, I'd come over there. And so the cashier is like, do we need to like call Code Adam, I think is what she called it. Code Adam. It's apparently a kid named Adam got lost and it's now a thing. And she was like, yeah. So she was on her way to call in the code Adam or whatever. And I just yell out, I was like, "Bobby!" Or no, I said, I actually called him by his name.
No, okay, nice.
I was like, "Boston." And then all of a sudden it was like the scene from, what's that movie with the golden retriever?
Oh, Homeward Bound. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Homeward Bound moment. There's Bobby running towards me, white as a ghost. White as a ghost.
Oh, no.
Because he's scared to death.
Yeah.
Poor dude.
But he heard my voice. He
Yeah.
came running. It was beautiful,
Man.
but so
boy.
scary.
Dude, that's a huge dad fear.
And he was just like, you could tell he was scared to death.
Yeah.
He's like just hugging me so
Freaked
tight.
out.
Did you get him the Feastables?
Oh, boy.
What a miss.
Well, you don't want to teach them, It's like,
Go there right now. Right after this. Go there.
Right
now.
now.
wake them up and feed them some chocolate.
But it's it was like the worst. Like I cannot describe to you the feeling. Y'all have probably had a taste of it before.
Yeah.
But just even losing your kid for like, I mean, it was only like 45 seconds maybe, or a minute.
Dude, it
But
stresses
that
me out.
right there makes your heart sink into your stomach.
Shiver up the spine.
Just the way that my wife reacts when she gets a suspicion that maybe our kid is not where she thinks it freaks me out.
Yeah.
Because she gets full panic mode in her voice and everything. And it's like, I can tell she's about to have a panic attack. I'm like, cool, now I have two problems.
I was, I was actually really surprised at how calm I stayed. Like,
Nice.
I would think that like that would just send me into a full like, but I guess some kind of instinct kicked in and you just like remain calm
Protect,
and like try to actually think about it logically. Like, where is he? You know.
Yeah.
But there, he just came running. He's like,
Oh, good job, Bobby. Really?
Dude, that's terrifying. I think I told you guys this before the podcast, but my brother, when we were little,
oh, wait, let me finish.
please go ahead.
So I get him and I pick him up and I'm like hugging him. And the cashier, you know, we're like apologizing. And Kayla's like blaming it on me. Like,
Oh, just ragging on you.
it's like,
Oh, no.
I'm just like, can't we just be happy? Like, you don't have to blame it on me right in front of the cashier. Like,
That hurts.
I know it's my fault.
Just the hit to pride, just to
Yeah.
put the cherry on top.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kayla didn't want to look like she was
Kayla.
responsible.
How'd that conversation go?
It's okay. Hey, we love you, Kayla. It's all right.
But like, what the heck?
Well, it was clearly an accident. Like,
Yeah, totally.
It's not like I abandoned him.
And
Hey,
dude,
she's
literally,
right. She's right though.
yeah.
It was my fault.
But also, like, Bobby is like always like on your hip.
Yeah.
Like, that's just one of those things. It's like,
Same dude's right
yeah,
there, man.
one of those things.
He's quiet. He's a sneaky little guy.
What's the craziest place you got lost as a kid?
I was just saying how I walked right away from my parents, passed by a really cool toy store, and I'm pretty sure my memory serves that I told them, I was like, "Hey, I'm going to the toy store," but I took off. I didn't wait for confirmation. It was just, "Hey, see you later." Like something caught my eye. It was probably like Nintendo 64, like coming soon in the window. And I was like,
wow.
64-bit graphic. I was pretty hyped up about it, and so
We all were.
I tucked into a place. It could have been Pokemon cards. Who knows?
Oh, baby.
Yeah, I know. Back in the
Getting into that.
OG
We're
release,
getting into
too,
Oh,
of course.
wow. Yeah, those cards are worth a lot right now.
I know, right?
We're getting into that. I didn't really like, I was always like the really good kid. I never really got, I don't think I ever got lost, but my brother got lost in the Smithsonian, which is like it's a big place. Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. And we were just like, and I was just like nonchalantly, because it's like, Matt, you know, I'm like the older brother. I'm like,
Yeah.
Matt's gone. My mom's like, what? And I was like, I don't know where he's at. Oh my gosh.
You only got me now.
And so we just like all scatter around and we're like walking around going to the different exhibits. And you literally, it was like a movie. You walk into the dinosaur, there's the T-Rex bones. And my brother's just like,
Staring. That's great.
just looking at some dinosaurs.
T-Rex.
Yeah. Looking at some dinosaurs.
I didn't get lost at a place, but somebody forgot me. So I get dropped off. It was like kindergarten, I guess. So you've got like PM kindergarten and AM kindergarten. I was PM. I don't know why. Get dropped off at my house. And at the time we lived downtown in a really small town. And my grandmother was supposed to be there to babysit me right after kindergarten or whatever. Because there were certain days that I went to daycare, and then there were certain days where she would just watch me at our house. I go up, knock on the door, nobody's there. I guess we don't have a key or whatever, and I don't know about it. So
you're in kindergarten.
I'm in kindergarten. Didn't really understand the concept.
Pull out a credit card. You're like trying to break the lock.
Saw this on a
Break a
Checking
window.
the hide key. You're
That
like,
would have been awesome if I just broke a window.
yeah, just throw a rock through a window.
Just eating like
She wasn't here.
Cheetos. Just started eating Cheetos on the couch. So what I did is I knew our daycare was close by downtown, so I just walked to our daycare and then went in there, and they called my grandma or called my parents and were like, "Hey, is Noah supposed to be here today? It's
wandered on
not
in."
his day." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, we forgot him or whatever." And I was like, and she was like crying, like picked me up, and I was like, "It's okay." Like I like daycare. I was hanging out with my
spot.
friends. Like
Daycare's legit.
it's pretty fun. There's
Gave
a
me a
lot more
snack.
people here.
It's pretty incredible as a kindergartner. You knew where the daycare, like you, like from an awareness
I
standpoint.
mean, it was like a couple blocks, so don't give me too much credit.
I mean, if it's more than 50 feet, I'm impressed. Like,
yeah.
It's pretty
Still
good for
use Google Maps for
kindergartner.
anything.
Yeah, that's right. There was no such thing.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
Siri, can you-
I guess I'll just go to the daycare.
Oh, that's nice. Man.
Yeah.
Wow. Anybody
So,
else?
I have a confession.
Oh no.
oh Lord, stop, Nick.
A couple weeks ago.
Oh, I thought he was going to say it's not recording.
Not recording.
No.
Oh my
He
gosh.
literally said, "I have a confession," and looked at the thing that records all the audio.
Looking down because I'm ashamed.
It's freaking 11 o'clock at night. We gotta get.
I'm looking down because I'm ashamed.
Okay.
Okay.
A couple weeks ago, I was coming home from Gate City.
Shout out Blue Devils.
I had Bobby in the back of the car, just Bobby, because he likes to ride with me. None of the others do. He's sitting in his booster seat back there, and at some point on the way to Kingsport, he fell asleep because I had a podcast on, and he must have just been really tired. He fell asleep. Well, I decided, oh yeah, I got to go to Walgreens to pick something up. So I go to Walgreens.
I know what's gonna happen.
And I get out of the truck. I'll walk into Walgreens, and then I remembered Bobby was in the car.
Oh, brother.
He's just chilling.
He's asleep in the. He's
This
asleep
poor
in the
kid,
truck.
man. This poor kid. Poor Bobby.
And I just left him there.
Y'all pray for Nick.
Did you lock
Oh,
the truck?
Kayla. I did not tell Kayla this.
How many?
You didn't tell Kayla this, and you just
She
hit her
doesn't.
on the podcast.
She doesn't listen to the podcast.
Brother, my brother in Christ.
Until today.
Imagine just like a 90-degree.
How many other dads can relate though, right?
So y'all have never done that before?
Not yet.
I'm sure there's some
A
listener
brief moment though.
Yeah.
that you're
know.
connecting with right now. There's some listener connecting to you.
Quiet sleeper. Was he awake when you got back? Still asleep?
Nope, he was out.
Nice.
Did not know that this happened.
Jeez.
I'm glad it wasn't like 100 degrees outside.
Yeah,
No,
Jeez.
I did lock the truck. So
That's good. Good for you.
If the wrong hands get on this podcast, Nick,
Yeah, a little,
again, I'm
little
actually
incriminating.
scared
We're gonna have to
because get called.
we're gonna have to vouch for you.
Yeah. He's a solid dude.
Dad.
He's so sweet.
He just has dementia.
Yeah.
Just-
He's just kind of cuckoo. Like, we're working on it.
Give me
Yeah.
a break.
We're working on it.
Well, now he's gonna have 3.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I would say
That part out, but that's about
maybe ask Kayla.
No, keep
Go
it
home
on.
and ask Kayla.
Keep it on.
Go home and ask Kayla. And then if she's like, what the heck are you doing? We'll edit it out.
Go home and tell her and be like, "Hey, remember when I told you about this?" She's like, "No,
Yeah,
I
just lie
definitely
to
told you
her.
about this."
Just lie to her. Guys, we're swinging and missing on this thing. We're not giving guys any good advice.
But how relatable, guys.
Totes.
I mean, I'm
because
just being
they're
honest, you know, like
Yeah.
this is the stuff that happens. in
Yeah,
my
it
life.
is.
Does
It is.
I can't
unfortunately.
even remember that far back. I just had to look at my phone, like picture roll. I was like, what have we been up to with the things? And I was like, oh yeah, like we had cool like Cub Scout
That is such a dad thing.
That's for like some wins, you know. We had Cub Scout moments.
That's cool.
Me and the kid got to kind of work together on building the Pinewood Derby car.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude.
we went to
I've
my-
always wanted to do that.
So
I literally
dude.
joined
theme?
Cub Scouts for that.
What theme is the
we-
car? Did
it's
you do a theme or is
just
Eagle Scout.
car.
Is this where
Eagle
you like
Scout.
put it on a ramp and see which one
Yeah.
the furthest?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we went to my father-in-law's house. He's got amazing like workshop, everything you could ever imagine there. So I just did like a big cut it in half, nice and thin, light. And then I had him help. We just got like a belt sander to kind of like sand some stuff. So I kind of helped, guide him to kind of smooth out some of the edges. We got a drill press and we did like we drilled a hunk out in the middle because I wanted to sink like a real big nut in there for some weight in the back.
there you go.
Dude.
So
Ryan is locked in.
he
bro.
gotta like pull like the drill press down, watch this thing go
love it.
like bore a hole. So it's cool. He got, his hands on a little bit of power tool action, and he was convinced. He was like, this thing's gonna win.
have to
He's
weigh
like,
it
I'm
in,
gonna get first place, right? He's like, I'm gonna stat. And all he talked about was just winning, like all W's.
Did he
And
name
I was
it?
like, I love that mindset.
Yeah, we're winning,
You're
bro.
super positive, but at the same time, like, it's okay if we don't win, right?
Like,
Because I don't know if we will. Like nothing's certain in life, son. Right? So
name it.
no, it was just
man.
it was unnamed.
What was
I
the
will
name of
tell
the
you,
rascal
like
car?
the quirk, like the dad, like W or the low point was like fully trusting some of the YouTube videos, and he was like, "Hey, less resistance on like the wheels is good. Like you can get away with 3 wheels." And I was like, dude, 3 wheels? And I was like, I'm going to show all these dads up. They're going to see 3 wheels and laugh. And I was like, just wait. But I didn't like test it at all. I didn't even like put it on the ground to see if the thing would go straight.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So like, we showed up in the first run. He immediately was in first place, but then it just went, boo, and it went like flying off the track. And he was distraught. The kid was just like, I can't believe this car's not working. My life is over. I had to call my wife and be like, hey, that 4th wheel, I didn't even bring it with me. Will you like drive down here? It's like a 5-minute drive at this church super. And I was like, you got to come bring me that wheel. Like he's beside himself that he did not win. And luckily they had some like extra cars and he grabbed one that's like, it's got some good status to it. It had won a lot of races. So he started putting that one down the track and he got some wins with it, which is cool. But the thing was, I was like, take yours. I was like, we worked on this.
Yeah.
Come on. I kept trying to push it, and he was like, I don't know about it. Because
got 3 wheels,
he
Dad.
did, and he got like second place, and he was like,
Oh, nice.
this is whack. He like hated it.
You ain't first, you're last.
He was
Dad.
like literally in tears, and the
that
scout,
mentality.
shake and bake.
yeah, I know, the scoutmaster had to like talk to him, and be like, well, you had some fun, right? You had a cupcake, and he was like, yeah, but I like didn't get first.
But I'm the first loser, so
That's a great.
He was
great
a tough
mind.
one.
That up.
But
I
I
love
thought,
that.
you know, hey, good life lesson
Yeah.
overall.
Oh
it's
man,
cool. You like in the shop together too, like, man, that's really sweet. I always wanted to do that.
I
Just
enjoyed
name
it.
it next time.
yeah.
Okay.
Time you won't.
Got you.
Time you won't get back there.
Yeah, that's
I
super
love
sweet.
your son's mindset too. It's okay to cry if you lose.
Yeah, means you care.
Yeah.
Right.
Shows
strong.
Noah in the picture.
Yeah,
It's the saddest.
Oh yeah. I don't even have to talk about this.
yes, don't bring it
We
up.
know.
We already know. That's really cool too, because like your son, I think you've said before on here that like he's super into like building stuff, engineering stuff,
Yeah.
like, and so it's just cool that he
Yeah,
can kind of
for
put
sure.
you guys can do that stuff together and
Right.
create something really dope.
Yeah, I wish I could trust him more. I'd be like, here, take the saw.
Yeah,
But
he's like,
he's also, yeah, he's a little too wild. Gotta
oh man,
own that.
that's great. I would say for me, when past couple weeks, it's really weird. Like I'm planning a 6-year-old's birthday party, which is crazy to me.
dude,
It's
I'd
Pokemon.
invite.
Yeah, it's Pokemon.
There you go.
It's gonna be so sick. He's collecting cards. We're in it.
Oh, it's Pokemon.
Yeah, he picked Pokemon. So he's like, and one of the like, I would say one of the big wins is I take really big pride in the designing of the invitations for my kid. Like, I don't know why, but I just want them to be like way and above any other kid. For some reason, just like this dude's party is gonna be legit. So I literally made a Pokemon card with his face in it and like wrote information in it, and like it's
awesome.
legit. But it's just weird that I'm planning a 6-year-old's birthday party. We're potty training a 2-year-old, and then we have one like about to like,
Put in the oven.
yeah, just absolutely mess everything up. You know, it's just like all the routine's gonna be gone. No, I'm just kidding. I'm excited. It's just crazy. Like the life kind of. I just like took a step back the other day. I was like, wow, this is weird. Like this is wild. But I would say one of the things I sent you guys a video. I don't know if it's an L, but it's just like one of those things where it's like dads can't do everything. Yeah, like
You can't be good at everything.
I'm not Superman, you know, and I don't have a killer arm. And so anyways, my son is like getting into baseball now. We just finished upward basketball today, which is super fun. He's loved basketball, but now he's moving into coach's pitch. And so we're out in the yard and his granddad's one of the coaches. And he's like, hey, I'll stand behind him, coach him while he's hitting, step out 46 feet and, you know, paint
46
yeah, 46 exactly. He literally had tape measure. Like he had it out
Oh.
there and was like, stand right here. We'll be right here. And he was like, you know, paint the strike zone. Like, you know, give him good looks, you know? And I sent them a video. Alyssa was like, hey, I made this cute compilation of you and him like playing, you know? And she sent me the video and I just threw all balls. Like,
It was bouncing.
it was bouncing before it
Cue the
got
video.
to him.
He's
It
like
was bouncing.
after he throws. Don't hit that one.
There was a couple of them he had to dodge.
I literally had to
Good
like,
eye, son.
yeah,
Good eye.
yeah, like Lev's jumping out of the way because I'm like trying to hit him, and I'm like, I just wasn't a baseball player like at all. And Alyssa should have been out there.
You should have just moved up and been like, hey, for the purpose of this,
Yeah, that's exactly.
us being in the yard, I'm gonna stand at 20 feet.
It's more about him like swinging, connecting.
Wait, didn't
with the
Alyssa
ball.
play softball?
Yes, Alyssa's got a cannon.
So they've got coach's pitch and Alyssa's out there like, they're like, what are you doing
Or
here, Dad?
let Papal throw it, man.
Yeah, well,
Alyssa's out on
he was
the
like,
mound.
hey, I can't like toss it. Like I really got to throw it. So you toss it, you know. So I sent him some like rainbows, and what was super funny is so the reason we switched. So actually, the story is Papa started pitching, but kind of hit Lev in the shoulder, and Lev was like, ow. You know, and then Lev was like, wait, you can get hit. Like that was like a thing to him. He was like, you can get hit in baseball, and I was like, yeah, bro, that's why I'm not playing baseball. That's why I quit
It
baseball.
counts as a single. That's it.
And I was like, you get to be on base. And I'm like, no, it kind of stinks. And his granddad's like, hey, if you see it, like turn into it. Let's like just embrace it. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
He's right.
Yeah, he is right.
Where?
But like to a 6-year-old, it's like, what do you mean? You know? And so Lev runs off and Papa's like, okay, like I can't pitch anymore. Like let's switch. And I'm just missing. But the way that I got him to come back out to like start pitching, I was like, hey, like if you pepper one right back at Dad and hit me, I'll give you an ice cream cone. That was the dumbest thing. I should have. Literally, like third pitch, dude. He ropes one at me, and I try to catch it barehanded. Oh God! Almost broke my finger. This is real life. This is a Tuesday. Anyways,
I call that a win.
yeah, that's a dub. So, dads, you can't do everything. Try to do it, and just be humble and show that your son, hey, you make mistakes, and you're not a baseball player.
We can't throw a ball over him.
We're gonna change the podcast name to The Humble Dad.
Yeah, the humble dad. Yeah. So I would say that for me has been it's been fun. And it too, we only have a week off in between sports, which is like the craziness.
Yeah.
Which is something
He's
we should
6.
probably talk about like
He's
on the
6.
podcast.
Yeah, we will.
Is just the demanding already, like of he just finished basketball. He's got a week off. Practice starts next Monday for baseball.
Yeah.
And then that's gonna end flag football starting in the summer. And then it's just like crazy, Anyways, so that's where we're winning. I'm going to go practice by myself throwing baseballs.
Yeah.
So I don't look like a dummy.
What's that noise out back?
It's like the rookie. Dennis Quaid out
Gotta
there.
have
Just
Tommy
like,
John surgery.
I threw it out.
and like, sorry, dude.
Oh, are you baseball player? I'm just trying to get good for my son so I can throw a decent ball. But
I'm also trying to mold his glove. His glove's like way too stiff. So I'm just in there just like,
just work.
anyways, it's a whole thing. I don't know anything about baseball.
Anybody else? So, Brooks turned 1. That was a win.
Yeah, that was awesome, dude.
So,
Heck yeah.
yeah, we had some family in town, which was cool. So,
Big Toes was there.
everywhere. He showed up. Yeah, had some great grandparents. It was really small, but it was good. So,
It's like the one party that like your kid actually doesn't care about, and it's literally just for you guys.
they got him like a one of those smash cakes, and I'm like, Taylor, how much was that? She's like, it was like $45. I was like, it's like
He's just gonna wear
In
it.
the floor.
I was like, nobody's eating it. He's just smashing it.
yeah.
But anyways, it was fun.
It was just a lava bomb of cake. Yeah.
It was cool. I took him right to the bath after he just
Oh yeah.
Like I can't stand
smashed
this
all over
messy
the
kid.
Yeah, I took him right to the bath. Everybody was still at the party, but it was good. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
It was fun.
Today's Baylor's birthday.
Wow, Baylor Bear.
Adolf.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
How old is
awesome.
Baylor?
6.
Wow.
That's great.
Years old.
Okay. Birthdays.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing from this past year with Brooks? Favorite thing with Baylor? Like just maybe a memory, something you look on.
I feel like a lot of God. I should let you guys talk. Sorry. But I just
ahead.
I immediately
I'd love to hear your
when I think of like years and stuff, like my wife and I reflect a lot. Like, oh man, like 5. Like a lot of people say, oh, terrible 2 is another one. My kid was great when he was 2, but he hit a troublesome 3. So like I don't know how did 5 feel?
Honestly, Baylor is so well behaved and just good.
He's a good dude.
Like I have no complaints about him.
Yeah.
He literally walked up
He's so
to
sweet.
he literally walked up to Noah today and was like playing, like wanting to like he was like had a balloon and was like hitting it to her. She was hitting it back, and it's like they're like way big difference in age, and he's just like, no, I'm gonna play with this.
I went
baby."
home when me and Nick were in the car doing something, and Kayla did a switcheroo with the kids, and they were in the truck with us for a minute, and then they went into Kayla's car, and this was when I was on crutches, and it was like Baylor and Beckham or both of them. I like said goodbye to him, and they were like, "All right, bye. Like, hope you feel better." And I was just like, "Oh my god!" Like it just like I was like, "I love you." No, it's just like you just found out that I've like got hurt a little bit, and you just cared enough to just say that. And I was
Yeah.
like, sweet.
Baylor's like he's a copy of Kayla. Like his heart.
Okay, yeah.
Makes
Baylor
sense,
Bear,
right?
Yeah. Baylor Bear. That's super cool. He got a little fresh haircut
Oh, yeah.
this past week, and he walked in this morning at Sunday, and he was like, I was like, bro, nice cut. And he was like, yeah, I got a haircut. I was like, yeah, you did.
Yeah,
Look like a stud.
Kayla like basically forced me to go get his haircut, and honestly, in the moment, I was like, I don't want to do this. First of all, because I know I'm gonna have to wait an hour. Second of all, I know I can cut it myself.
Yeah.
And so in that moment, I was being selfish. But what it ended up being was me and him got to spend one-on-one time.
Yeah.
And we never get that.
Super cool.
And so it was awesome. Just
It's good.
one-on-one time with Baylor Bear. He's so sweet.
Mm-hmm. He's a good one, man.
Wants to snuggle all the time. Wants wants to play tickle time.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's a good one.
he's good.
What about you? I mean, obviously, like he's
Oh, the
alive
one.
for a year.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, my favorite moment.
Moment.
I think just seeing him evolve, like it just grow, and hitting milestones, like developmentally,
Yeah.
is really cool to watch. In that first year, they grow so much. It's where they can't move to where he's almost walking at this point. So it's I've enjoyed just seeing him kind of hit those milestones and develop, and then just being able to play with him on the floor, seeing him crawl, that kind of stuff, seeing him almost walk on his own. And then I think just soaking in any kind of family time that we get together, that's uninterrupted, whether it's like taking walks with them or playing out in the yard or even in the house, whatever it is just awesome. And I don't want to miss those moments, you know? So I've really just tried to take that in. And then like you take pictures, you take videos, and then you look back and you think to yourself, wow, this has gone pretty quick. For me, I thought it flew by this first year. Taylor thought it did not. I don't know why, but when you look back on it, it goes fast. I don't know, but we've just enjoyed just seeing him grow, which is awesome.
You're gonna miss it. You're gonna want. I actually like. I heard this like. It's really crazy, and I don't want to get sappy, but I want to encourage you because we've been friends for a really long time. It's really cool to like be friends without kids, and then to see your friends become people with kids. And like, I just think like seeing you as a dad has been really cool. Like, I think you're a really stud dad, and you've always been really good with my kids. But now that's like I see you with your own kid, you're just like. He's growing up on me. Don't make no more of it.
Get a soft spot.
Yeah. And so I just think you've done a
when we
really good
started
job,
this
man.
podcast, he was how old?
Man,
I don't know.
probably 6 months.
Yeah. Happy year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
probably
it was-
about that.
It's crazy.
Like,
Yeah,
Bang.
it's awesome.
It's
I
crazy.
mean, how much has happened in 6 months, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot.
It's unreal.
Yeah,
Good job, dude. You're doing a good job.
thanks. You too.
Yeah.
That's
All you
that's
guys-
something
All you
I-
dads.
That's something I miss though, is that one-on-one time, because like I said, I don't get that often where there's 4 of them, and it's like I cherish every little moment I get when it's just me and Baylor or me and Beckham or me and whoever it is. It's so special.
Set up daddy dates.
Yeah,
You got 4.
I know.
4 weeks in a month.
yeah.
Saturday morning from 9 to 10:30. Bray.
The dad
Beckham,
is in.
Baylor. Bobby.
It's just
Bray.
you got to make a point to do it. You know?
Yep. But it's cool because like one of my buddies did that in Portland, and his kids like were first like, but it's like, man, no, like they started to like ask about it, like, hey, what are we gonna do tomorrow? Like, hey, it's my day, like it's and then the kid get to pick, and it could be a really cool thing, and maybe something that the dads that listen to it could implement. It's just like dad dates where it's like, what do you want to do?
Yeah,
Lev would be like, Lev, when we lived in Portland, he was like, I just want to go to Barnes and Noble and just like read comics.
Nice.
And I was like, cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
Or the arcade or it's fun.
I feel like my go-to would be go to Lowe's and just walk around. And
Yeah.
get
oh yeah,
tools.
it's good.
It's Home Depot. Yeah, I feel like you're just gonna walk in next week and it'd be like, who needs a haircut? Who wants to hang out with dad?
Right.
That's awesome, man. It's so cool.
Cool dads. It's been good.
Yeah.
Good gather. I think we'll land this little plane for the day. Fasten your seatbelt.
This has been a loaded podcast. Dad band.
Yeah.
Circle back around there. Bob Seger. That was a whole thing. This is a lot of good stuff, man. That's the only 2 things I remember.
Are we gonna get flagged? Are we gonna get flagged?
We're probably gonna get flagged, but it's nice knowing you guys. We're gonna get flagged for music and by the child service department.
If Nick is in jail and the podcast doesn't exist, you know why.
We'll do Zoom, and that'll be his phone call for the week.
3 Dads podcast doesn't have that ring to it,
It
you know?
really doesn't, Bob. Oh, I was thinking about this. This is kind of ended. You know how like big podcasts that I listen to, they kind of have a name for the community. They're like,
Oh, yeah.
they're listeners,
Right.
they're loyal crew. They're like rock. I think it'd be really cool if we called our community the 5th Dad.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're right. We
love
talked
it.
about
Yeah,
Kinda
you know how like Texas A&M has the 12th
yeah.
man. You
Yeah, I
know?
just thought of that.
Yeah, it's
Love
like
that.
the 5th Dad. So it's like shout out to the 5th Dad community. Those that rock with us week in, week
Wait,
out.
we didn't talk about. I think we need to make
Yeah.
with no
making executive decisions here on this.
right now.
I'm just
I love
saying
that. I
I'll
love
put that in the middle.
No, I
we can
love it.
discuss it. Obviously,
No.
there are some
Nothing
moms.
to discuss.
I don't think there's
That's-
anything to let cook. It's
Yeah.
done.
Let it rip.
I think it's out there.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think we need to agree. I was just kidding.
Last thing, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Also, if you have a cool dad band name, let us know.
It's important to
Instagram.
us.
I got something to say.
Yeah.
One thing that I've noticed is when people tell me that they listen to the show and that they enjoy it or that they get something from it, that means so much to me. I don't know how you all
Yeah,
feel.
dude,
Like, I
it's
know
super cool.
that you've probably had people reach out to you and stuff, but like that makes it that much more worth it. Like what we're doing here, we're not doing it for really anything other than we want to do it, and it's good for us. It's almost like therapy.
It's the reminder
We
to-
enjoy being together. We enjoy talking and diving into these things. But to know that you listeners out there are enjoying it and give us feedback. Like we want feedback. We want y'all to tell us what you want to hear, what you want to see. So just keep sharing those things with us.
Yeah. Yeah, it means a lot.
Yeah, and I'll just shout out one dude. I just got to shout out this one guy because he listens to every single podcast. Well, I guess there's two. Seth, you know who you are, and Justin, you know who you are. My wife's best friend, one of my wife's best friends, calls her and she's like, "My husband is laughing doing dishes. Like, what's he doing?" And she walked in there. She's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm listening for the dads." He's like, "Watching this."
That's
And
awesome.
so it's just super cool. Shout out to you guys.
I've got friends I
Yeah.
grew up with and went to high school with. I mean, was in diapers with growing up, and they listened to it. I've got a couple group messages, and one dude was like, "Hey, I just listened to episode 5," and I was like, "I haven't even listened to episode 5."
Yeah.
No, it texted me. He's like, "Is episode 5 out?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude."
I literally asked Ryan the other day, I'm like, "Do you ever listen to the episodes?" He's like, "No, I've not listened to one episode."
You have not?
No,
I
I'm
listened to
here.
all of them, but
I am
The only
listening to
reason I listen to them is because I edit them.
Yeah.
But after that, I
Right.
usually don't. You know, I
Nah.
don't go back and listen to them because I've already
It's
heard
cool.
them. But
yeah.
now I've not had that many people tell me stuff. But the few that I've had, it's meant a lot.
Sure.
So I don't know how many you guys have had.
I just get it by proxy through you all. I don't. I think I've had actually like, you know, some like random like icebreaker things of like, oh hey, like I like that podcast thing that you're doing. I was like, oh, you do? And I was just like,
yeah,
I
we're
guess
doing a
I like get
podcast.
surprised. I'm like, you listen to it, or did you just see that like I'm in a reel and you just said it?
Are you like, "Oh crap, you listen to my podcast"? Or are you like, "Okay"? Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Well, honestly, I don't know. I'm probably just like insecure, and I was like, did you really listen to it? Did you?
So one of my friends I was hanging out with yesterday actually said to me, he asked me if it was a real podcast because he had only seen our Instagram reels.
Oh, that's funny.
And I'm like, you think we're just making Instagram reels of a fake podcast?
That's a lot of work, bro.
No.
Honestly, that would be so sick.
He's like, I don't know if he said he looked it up and couldn't find it or whatever, but like maybe we need to make it more clear on social media that
Yeah, it's
this
live.
is a real podcast.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
you can go listen to the full episodes.
I
But
need to get some reviews on.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Seriously.
just common sense and you didn't have to say that, but apparently you did.
Yeah. Yeah. When you like or you rate us on Apple, especially Apple in particular, it boosts it up just in the vicinity and in the audiences. And so please, like,
You think these
subscribe, review
voices should be heard by more people?
more dads.
I mean,
The fifth dad needs to
Scary
grow.
thought, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a
Isn't
scary
it?
thought. There's a homie in South Korea that listens to us. Shout out to Steve.
Hey,
thanks, South
Yeah.
Korea.
is that his name?
Yeah, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Yeah.
So
So until next time,
Yeah.
really focus on what you're fearful of and face those fears.
and don't let it
Don't let it consume you.
don't let it consume you.
But-
yeah, you're doing okay.
Be mindful.
Yeah, you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Don't leave your kids in the car
Or
Just-
Walmart.
or
Just bring them with you, okay?
Or Walmart, or just
I've got work to do.
Quick tip: just make sure your kids are there.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
We're out. Thanks.
that's a
Till
wrap.
next time.
That's a
Love y'all.
wrap.